Well, IMSA has a long-standing relationship with the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and 2025 is no different. With over 100 IMSA-affiliated teams and drivers here on the grid at Le Mans, let's find out who from the IMSA grid is going to be racing for glory in one of sports car racing and endurance racing's biggest events. There are three different official ways that IMSA competitors can find themselves automatically invited to compete at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. That's by winning the top class GTP title over in the WeatherTech Championship, by winning the Jim Truman Award in LMP2, or the Bob Akin Award for the highest finishing bronze in GTD. Let's talk a little bit about how each of those categories are in play here at this year's edition of the 24 Hours. Well, a surefire way to get yourself on the Le Mans grid is to receive an auto invite. And one of the ways you can do that is by winning the GTP class championship in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. And that's exactly what the number 7 Porsche Penske Motorsport 963 did last year with Dane Cameron and Felipe Nasr at the wheel. However, it's the car that receives the entry and the invite, not necessarily the driver. So Felipe Nasr is back, but he's joining Pascal Wehrlein and Nick Tandy in the number 7 machine, although we won't be wearing the number 7 because that's already taken on the grid. It'll be wearing the number 4 as one of 3 963s represented by Porsche Penske Motorsport. Roger Penske chasing his first win here at the Circuit de la Sarthe, and Porsche as a manufacturer going for their 20th. The other way to get on the Le Mans grid is by winning IMSA's Jim Truman Award, which goes to each season's LMP2 class winner. This season, it's Nick Bull after winning the P2 championship in IMSA last year. But who was Jim Truman, who the award is named after? He was the famous former owner of the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course and the founder of the Red Roof Inn Company. He also founded True Sports, an organization that would go on to be an Indy 500 winning team with Bobby Rahal. Nick Bull this season competing in the Pro-Am category within LMP2 in the number 34 Inter-Europol competition car alongside Luca Giotto and Jean-Baptiste Simonauer. Another way to get yourself here to Le Mans to win the Bob Akin Award. It's something that IMSA offers to the highest finishing GTD class bronze rated driver every year in the WeatherTech Championship over in North America. And last year it was Ori Fidani with AWA Racing who've earned themselves a ticket here to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And as the first true Canadian team to contest the race in recent memory, they've gone all out in the livery. They've ditched the traditional black and gold, and they've gone for a pretty stunning patriotic Canadian red and white. Maple leaves all over their beautiful Z06 GT3.R to celebrate their entry. So it's Fidani, Lars Kern, and Matt Bell who will tackle the 24 Hours. Well, who was Bob Akin? Well, like many of the bronzes, he was a gentleman racer himself, just like Truman was too. He won the Mobil 112 at the Sebring in 1979 and 1986, and he won the IMSA original GTP class championship that year in that iconic red Coca-Cola Porsche 962. And the Truman Award and the Bob Akin Award, they're here to celebrate the bronze drivers in our sport. They may not be doing racing as their day-to-day jobs, but they're successful business people with a deep passion for racing, and they get to celebrate it on the world's biggest stage. And aside from the winner's trophy, there's something else special at stake this year at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, a chance for endurance racing's Triple Crown to be won in the same season. That's never been done by anybody, but for Porsche Penske Motorsport's Nick Tandy, Felipe Nasr, and Lawrence Vanthor, they've got a chance to do it here, and the overall win at that. But what is the Triple Crown in endurance racing? Well, it's the 3 biggest races that are long distance that this sport has. That's a win at the Rolex 24 at Daytona, a win at the Mobil 112 Hours of Sebring, and of course a win here at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. We'll see if they can get it done for the first time in history in the same season in 2025. There's 2 more IMSA regulars represented on the Le Mans grid this year. What we're used to as the number 31 Whelen Cadillac is here as the number 311. And the number 10 Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac is wearing the number 101 here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. Both teams were selected by the Le Mans Selection Committee, deciding that they were up to the task to taking on some of the best here in the top prototype class here at Le Mans. For Felipe Drugovich, Frederick Vesti, and Jack Aitken, it's their 3rd time here in that bright red Whelen Cadillac. For the Wayne Taylor Racing camp, this weekend is a bit of a homecoming. For Wayne himself, he hasn't been here since he was a competitor back in 2002 when he was driving, and you guessed it, a Cadillac. And for his sons, Ricky and Jordan Taylor, they're both making their 10th starts here at the Circuit de la Sarthe. For Jordan, a bit of a special one as well. It's 10 years out since he won this race in class with Corvette Racing back in 2015. Felipe Albuquerque making his 12th start. He won this race last in 2020 when he was in an LMP2 machine, and it's his first race in a top class prototype since 2015. Jordan and Ricky are both making their first ever starts in the top class here at Le Mans. Well, hopefully this helps you follow along with your favorite IMSA team or driver who just might be on the grid here this year at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2025. They'll have 24 straight hours to fight for glory before they continue with the rest of the WeatherTech Championship season in just a couple weeks' time.